welcome back. We've got a really interesting pitch today. It's for a short horror video, 7-8 minutes, called The Cursed Court of Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler playing ghosts in Karachi. A wild concept.
Definitely. So let's jump right in. First big thought. The proposed structure packs in maybe too much history and setup, and that could really hurt the pacing for such a short runtime.
Right. That 7-8 minute window is tight.
So the pitch lays out Act 1, setting the scene, Karachi gym, the date, Butler's mood post-playoffs, a mysterious text. Okay.
Standard setup stuff.
But then Act 3 jumps back to the 90s, explaining this whole curse backstory, some team making a deal.
And look, I get wanting to give the curse some weight, some history. Makes sense. But the weakness here is pretty clear. Spending precious minutes on a 90s flashback in Act 3, that kills the momentum built in Act 2, which has to be the core horror sequence, the game itself.
Exactly. You're sacrificing that immediate, visceral horror for exposition right when things should be most tense.
Especially for YouTube horror. People click for the scares, not necessarily the deep lore explained via flashback.
So the suggestion is pretty straightforward. Collapse those exposition elements radically.
Yeah, make it claustrophobic. The focus needs to be right there, with Butler, in that moment. The rules, the stakes, they need to be immediate, environmental, not explained later.
Okay, so concretely, how do we do that? We'd say cut the specific date, maybe even the Warriors' jersey detail, unless it directly plays into how the curse works.
Great, strip it down. And instead of that 90s flashback, lean into what's already mentioned in Act 1, the weird symbols carved into the floor.
Make those the exposition.
Exactly. Butler steps onto the court, maybe a symbol flares up, or blood starts weeping from it when the ghost scores. The environment itself tells him and us the rules, the danger, instantly.
So the setting becomes the trap, actively changing, actively revealing the stakes. No need for voiceover, no need to cut away.
It keeps attention locked in. He's figuring out the rules while trying to survive the spectral opponent. That feels way more effective for a short.
Okay, that streamlines things nicely. Let's move to the horror itself, the core essence. Point 2. To really make this hit hard, the curse needs to be specifically tailored to attack Jimmy Butler's defining traits, that legendary grit, his whole competitive fire.
Yeah, this is crucial. Right now, the pitch describes a faceless shadow, #23, standard ghost stuff, teleporting, vanishing ball.
And the stakes are lose and stay forever. Curse wants his hustle, his heart, his soul.
The idea is there.
The idea is solid, absolutely. But the weakness is in the execution described. Those specific ghostly actions, teleporting, fading hands, maybe some cheap CGI, they feel generic. It could be any player, any ghost.
It doesn't leverage the fact that this is Jimmy Butler, Mr. I'm Him, the guy known for unbreakable mental toughness. Exactly. That's the gold line here. So our suggestion is personalize the horror. The ghost shouldn't just be hard to beat. It needs to be the ultimate psychological counter to Butler. It needs to attack his will, his identity, his competitive core.
Okay, let's make that concrete. The pitch mentions his intense defense being useless.
Right. So instead of the shadow just, phasing through him, what if it perfectly mirrors Butler's own defensive intensity, but makes it unattainable, flawless?
Ooh, so it shows him his own greatest strength, perfected, but turned against him. That's unsettling.
Deeply unsettling for someone like him. It validates his grit while showing him it's ultimately futile against this thing. It attacks the source of his confidence.
And then there's the trash talk moment. He yells, "Y'all ain't got my IQ."
Yeah, classic Butler. But the pitch just says, the lights explode. We can do better.
Needs to be psychological warfare.
Absolutely. Instead of exploding lights, the shadow responds. Maybe it recites, in a distorted voice, specific critiques of his past playoff failures, lines from analysts, maybe even his own past doubts.
Weaponizing his history against him, attacking his basketball IQ directly, using his own career low points.
Now that's personal. That elevates it beyond a simple haunting. The ghost knows him, maybe better than he knows himself, and uses it to break him mentally. Suddenly, the stakes aren't just escaping the gym. They're about preserving his very sense of self.
Much stronger. Okay, final major point. The ending needs refinement. The current conclusion, he makes a game-winning three. The gym collapses, he runs out, feels a bit inconsistent, and maybe misses a trick.
Yeah, let's walk through it. He hits the big shot, channels his playoff grit, then the court screams, "You're ours!" and the play starts coming down?
It feels off. The pitch sets up this rule, right? There's a scoreboard that changes to lose and stay forever.
Logically, winning should mean freedom, or at least the end of the challenge according to the game's own rules. But instead, winning triggers a collapse, and he has to escape anyway?
The weakness is that it swaps narrative logic for a big cinematic explosion. It doesn't quite pay off the established rules or the psychological themes we were just talking about.
It feels a bit like a tacked-on action beat.
So, the suggestion here is to make the ending smarter, more paradoxical. What if the escape comes not from winning, but from realizing that winning itself is the trap?
Ooh, I like that. A twist that plays on his hypercompetitiveness. Winning is what the curse wants. It feeds on that drive.
Exactly. So, for a concrete example, instead of making the winning shot, maybe Butler has a moment of clarity. He sees the cycle, sees the curse feeding on his need to dominate.
And he rejects it.
Yes. He intentionally throws the shot, or just stops playing, walks off mid-possession, chooses self-preservation over victory.
And that's what breaks the curse's hold on the place. The gym collapses because he refused to play its game.
But the horror shouldn't just end there. It needs to follow him.
Right. Make it portable. The resolution should be that the physical place is destroyed, but the curse latches onto him.
Remember that single basketball rolling out of the fog and the pitch's ending? That needs to be the key.
Make it the vessel. As it rolls out, maybe it changes. Takes on that weird red liquid effect mentioned earlier, or its texture warps, something visual to signify the curse is now in the ball.
So he escapes the gym, but he hasn't escaped the curse. It's coming back to Miami with him. It's in the very tool of his trade.
That transforms it from a haunted house story into a lingering psychological nightmare. Much more sophisticated, much stickier for the audience.
Okay, that feels like a much stronger arc. So, to quickly recap the main thoughts for revision. First, streamline ruthlessly. Cut the historical flashbacks. Make the curse rules immediate, visual, part of the environment.
Second, personalize the horror. Don't just make the ghost tough. Make it attack Butler's specific psychological strengths, his grit, his competitiveness, his IQ. Use his history against him.
And third, rethink that ending. Move away from the simple win and escape. Make the escape about rejecting the need to win, and have the curse become portable, attaching itself to the basketball, following him out.
It's all about maximizing impact in that short runtime. Focus everything on tension, psychological dread, and making it uniquely about Jimmy Butler.
This is a concept with huge potential. We're genuinely excited to see where it goes next.
Absolutely. Take these ideas, rework the pitch, and definitely send it back our way when you're ready for another look.
We look forward to seeing the next version.